later.
Welcome everyone to my abysmal allotment. So it's been a while since we've seen each other, probably a couple of weeks. A lot has actually happened in those couple of weeks. Namely, I think we managed to pick up COVID. Not just me, my whole family. I managed to pick it up from somewhere and then passed it on to my 3-week-old baby and 1.5-year-old child, as well as my wife. And pretty sure a few other people in the family who are not talking to me anymore, to put it that way. So in the time that I've been gone, I've just been seeing so many people coming and going from the allotment because like I literally live right opposite. So I'm always keeping an eye on who's coming and who's going. And the whole time I've just been worried because we've had some great weather finally. And the great weather is great. But my biggest worry was I wasn't able to touch this place and I did not know what I was going to come back to. And I was really hoping it wouldn't be grown back up to here, which is how I originally started. I mean, the nettles have come back thick and fast, way thicker than, we won't finish that. But yeah, these have come up thick and fast and I was not expecting that. But they seem to be the easier things to trim in comparison to the grass, I found. So that's beneficial. So hopefully we'll have an easier time with this. Luckily, where I've piled up the old nettles, they haven't grown back. So that's actually a really good tip for myself to know in future that if I'm not going to be able to come back for a couple of weeks, spread out the waste clippings. I don't know what you call them in allotment terms or gardening terms. Just spread them out to stop the nettles growing back, I guess, in the absence of cardboard and all the other bits and pieces. And naturally you can see my partially failed attempt at making this pallet. I still haven't been able to complete this either. We'll get onto that in a second. I've had a few comments from a few of you who've really got either wound up or been really helpful in telling me a few tips especially about the blue one, but we'll get to that in a second. The first task today is going to be to try and trim all this back down together, back down to a certain level. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but before sundown, I'm also going to try and finish the rest of this pallet. A few of you did also mention that I don't need a bottom on this pallet, which I didn't understand, but one of you guys commented that actually it's really good for the worms, and that makes a lot of sense. So hopefully we'll be able to get this done without the blue pallet, and we can actually get everything set up and ready to go today, so we can come back here in the next couple of days whenever I get a chance to escape the family again and put on the black plastic sheets, which I've been recommended to do, to make sure that this stuff doesn't go back again. We have got some decent weather coming in London, and so the benefit there is that science, I imagine, tells me that the black sheet should rot everything underneath it faster. I'm making this up as I go along, but I'm sure it's not as easy as I've just made it out to be. So that is that's one of the main things that I'm trying to get to. That's the holy grail. If I can get this covered up, then I have to stop coming out here, and you can stop watching me trying to trim this damn stuff down, because it's never ending, it seems, and I don't like lunging this trimmer all the way down from my house and setting it up and then just cutting a load of grass. The other thing I'm going to do today, because the last couple of times I've trimmed, I've been dying a horrible death at night because of my allergies. So today I've got a pot of Vaseline, and I've been told that if I stick a whole load of this Vaseline straight up my nose, it should keep the pollen out. But we'll see that. I think that's a little too much, to be fair. Shit, I've got it all over my face now. So yeah, let's see if that helps. I'm sorry if I've got a shiny nose coming up in the camera now. It's not, you're not watching me for aesthetics, let's be honest. I'm pretty sure we've made that clear. So yeah, let's get things on the road. Let me sort out my nose properly off camera, so I don't look like a cocaine addict, just walking out of a toilet. Anyway, right, let's get to this.
Few inches later.
Right, an hour later, I have got more juice on me, plant juice on me, than a Joe and the Juice. Those who live in London would get that reference. It's been a vegan horror film right now. Just Texas Chainsaw massacred everything that you can see. All the greens. I've got flies all around me, either because I stink or because they think I am a part of these plants now. Yeah, I think the last scene of Predator when Arnold Schwarzenegger covers himself in mud. Get quite literally, I am slathered in plant juices that I have no idea what they are. But we've done a solid job. I'll show you in a second. We've basically cleared it up all the way to the back, as you can see. So now we have got a clear run. Now the only thing left for me to decide is whether I have it in myself to actually rake all this up or whether I should just leave it and let it compost down. Because the areas that have left in previous heaps have started to sort of rot, and actually I'm not seeing a lot of growth on there. So when it comes to these grassy bits, these are still pretty much exposed to the sun, and the dead leaves haven't covered the plethora of newer leaves. But the nettles and stuff should be enough of a cover to stop the sun coming in. I mean, the goal is obviously, as I said, to cover it all up with the plastic weed sheets anyway. But I need time for that, and I don't want to come back to a fully grown patch of grass and nettles and all sorts again after spending all that time on it. Good exercise, that. So as you can see, this is all the stuff that grew back. This is the old heap from the previous trimmings. Nothing grew over here. Nothing also grew over there or over there. And so what we found, or what I think and I'm hoping for, is if I leave this as it is, it can cover up most of the stuff that I've basically shaved off right now and stop it from growing back just long enough for me to get back here with the weed sheets in a couple of days, or whatever they're called, weed sheets. I'm definitely getting flagged on this video. It's 2 drugs I've mentioned in the space of 10 minutes. Right, but yeah, so as you can see, we've got now clearance to the back path. I think I've done a pretty good job here because it's very uneven ground. I am pretty much of the mind now that I just cover this all up and throw a load of blocks of wood and stuff on it to stop the sheets flying around, and then kind of deal with it and pull back certain parts as we go. So that's kind of what the goal is. So I got a lot of stick for this during the old videos and some of the comments. A lot of you have been actually really useful. So just to clarify, I did ask the business owner to pick these up. Maybe not this one specifically. So a few of you have mentioned that I might actually be giving myself cancer by creating these or using this pallet. I'm going to pause here because there's a massive A380 that's just taking off. And I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me or not.
A few moments later.
Right, let's cut back. So, what I was saying before the aeroplane casually interrupted, I've been told that this blue pallet here is not supposed to be used for anything really other than transport of materials. And the reason for that is this blue stuff, which I'm casually touching with my hands, may be full of toxins that can give cancer. And so you don't really want it near anything that you're growing, first of all, but also anyone else's stuff. And so you've probably seen the video where I've been screwing in most of the things into this one pallet because it was the sturdiest. That is not going to work anymore. So somewhere I'm going to have to find another pallet to screw into and basically, yeah, start from scratch, which seems to be the theme of this YouTube channel that I've put together. I should just call it H starts from scratch every time he ends up in the allotment. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to try and find out a way to get another pallet, which I don't have time to do, which isn't preferably going to give me and my family cancer and those around me. I'm pretty sure my neighbors won't appreciate that either. The other thing for you guys at home who are also watching me and looking for pallets or whatever is apparently there is a marking on here. So these are marked, and I have seen it. This one is definitely marked with do not use, which I did not see, obviously, because you don't look for markings on pallets, or no normal person does. But anyway, these are essentially not to be used for any other reason. The markings on these pallets will tell you what chemicals the wood has been treated with. And so, you know, if you're burning it or something like that, whether you should or shouldn't, or you should be inhaling it or not. Like, I know a few people who've in the past been burning pallets in their wood burners at home, which now I understand is a complete no-no. But historically, I didn't know that. So yeah, YouTube is a fantastic community, and especially the allotment people within the YouTube community are amazing so far. And I've learned so much, and I hope to continue to learn. So I'm going to try and fiddle around with this, see how far I get. Now that I don't need a bottom, because, you know, good for the worms, as I said, which I didn't know. I can probably make do with 3 sides and not put a top on it. But if I do find a top, then even better. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll stop my rambling and I'll get to work. So we're fast learners here at the Allotment Noob channel. Essentially, I've taken off these blocks, these ones you can see, off of here, had some spare. I saw a meme actually the other day on Twitter. It was like, finally use that piece of wood that I've had in my garage since 2008. These pieces of wood have been in my garage for a very long time. Maybe not 2008, but yeah, pretty long. Anyway, point being, we've put these on here, 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 and all of the 3 sides. Now the goal is to use pallet number 2 and pallet number 3 and screw them in on one side and the other side, and then find another pallet to screw in on the other side. That blue one is going to have to go. I'm going to have to try and figure a way out to dispose of it. I may potentially cut it up and put it on top of the plastic sheeting that I eventually put down. But we'll see. We'll get to that bridge. We'll cross that bridge a little later. The impact drill is the one to get, not the one that I was losing last time. That was absolutely atrocious. This thing tears up the wood and actually gets the job done in half the time. So yeah, we're finally making progress. I'm happy. So I said we were quick learners. Obviously we're not that quick learners because I haven't got anything over here to basically put these together. So I might have to screw in more blocks into here and then find a way to screw into these, which is not going to be easy, but let's see how we go. So I don't know if I'm cursed or if this is just a sign from God to give up on pick up a new hobby, but basically my drill keeps going out of power. Look, it comes alive and then it goes. So I think I need to start carrying with me 2 extra batteries. Look, I'm not making it up. It literally is just on and off. I have literally ended up where I started. All I've done is just swapped out the blue one for a different palette. I've still only got 3 sides up. It's getting quite ridiculous now. So right now I'm back to where I was 2.5, 3 weeks ago speaking to you. So as much as I thought there would be progress and I might end the day on being one step ahead, it definitely isn't the case. So I'm going to have to call it quits here because the sun is starting to go down now. And yeah, it's gonna have to be picked up on another day. I'm just so disappointed because again, someone's gonna walk past and be like, "This guy's trimmed this whole thing down again, but he still hasn't gone any further with his pallet or compost heap or whatever it is that you want to call it now." Yeah, I'm just back where I started. Really, all I've done is swapped out a cancerous material and yeah, swapped it in with something that is not so cancerous. And that is it. That is all the progress we've made today, unfortunately. So stay tuned. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish this up, put this to one side, and then next stage is getting all of this covered. So I've got the plastic sheets ready to go, ready to be rolled out. I might get some help. I'm not sure who. I'm going to try and reel someone in and see if they can help me just lay down some plastic and then get it all covered up. But yeah, thank you for sticking with me on this journey. Is it a journey if you're still standing in the same spot? I'm not sure you can call it a journey. I think we're just jogging on the spot right now, but yeah, we will get there. We will get there. I do have hope. And if anything, it's been a good workout, and that is something I've needed. So
6 hours later.
So just been left a pallet at my house. How lucky am I? This wasn't expected, but I ordered something from China probably about 4 months ago. And the boxes are so light, but the pallet is probably heavier than the actual boxes that I've asked for delivery for. But nonetheless, it looks like we've just got a bit of luck here, and I've been given a pallet to my doorstep.
Tomorrow.
That's the next day, and I was just off to work, and I remembered that I actually didn't give you an update on whether the Vaseline in the nose worked for the hay fever. It absolutely did. It was brilliant. And the second reason is just so you know that I don't always dress like a bum. That is, t-shirts and jogging bottoms is not my go-to. So yeah, I thought I'd give you a quick update. It works. Try it. Whole load of Vaseline in your nose holes.